Fox News was forced to report on some polling that is actually pretty great for VP Harris, and I just know for a fact it is so painful for Brett Bier to stand there and report on a black woman beating Donald Trump in multiple swing states. Leave a like on the video, let's watch this, and then I'll break down the polls.
Michigan registered voters put her and the former president at 49% each. That's 3 percentage points better than President Biden was performing. In Minnesota, the presumptive Democratic nominee is up and has a 6-point advantage there. They are both tied at 49 in Pennsylvania. And former President Trump has a 1-point lead in Wisconsin. Those results are comparable with the Trump versus Biden numbers. Many of the new polls coming out nationally and in the swing states have been within the margin of error in this new race. Michigan.
You know that was painful for him. Let's break down some of the deeper data in this poll. Fox News poll: close races in battleground states show voters locked in. Most voters in 4 battleground states approve of Biden getting out of the race and want him to complete his term. According to a Fox News statewide survey in Michigan, Minnesota, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, the polls include over 1,000 registered voters in each state and were conducted July 22nd to 24th, days after Biden dropped out and endorsed VP Harris. The surveys find the horse race between Harris and former President Trump looks a lot like the Biden-Trump race did back in April, extremely close, but VP Harris has a lot more upside than Biden did. Biden seemed to have hit some sort of ceiling. Meanwhile, it feels like VP Harris is just beginning to energize the fan base and just beginning to launch some brutal attacks against Donald Trump and JD Vance. For example, JD Vance has been getting a lot of backlash on Twitter for maybe or maybe not sleeping with a couch when he was younger, and you know it's bad when Jessica Tarlov and her Fox News co-hosts are talking about it.
Well, Kennedy, it seems like the Republicans are getting a big JD Vance, should I say couch-sized wake-up call.
You could, you pervert. You got smut on the brain.
Did he or didn't he? Greg says that Axe is so great now, and I think JD Vance wishes that there was some more policing of content.
Probably not.
I don't think he liked
part of the discussion.
Oh, shall we
get on to?
Let's move to the next section.
They're having fun over at Fox News. Let's continue this poll. Trump is meeting or exceeding his 2020 vote share in the two-way race against Harris. Support for Harris in the horse race exceeds Biden's support in April surveys. Between 93% to 96% of Democrats back Harris in the head-to-head, and between 92% to 95% of Republicans support Trump. So the Democrats are somehow beating the Trump cult with more support for Harris. We are so enthused. Fewer than 1 voter in 5 feels they are getting ahead financially, as the largest number says they are falling behind. The economy is a top issue to twice as many voters as the next highest issues, immigration and abortion. All other issues lag those 3. I mean, it always is the economy, it always has been, but abortion is definitely going to be a massive issue this election cycle, especially if VP Harris can frame the issue in a clever way. Trump is preferred over Harris by wide margins among voters prioritizing the economy and immigration. Harris is favored among those saying abortion is their top issue, even though Harris would objectively be better for all 3, whether it's economy, immigration, or abortion. When it comes to the economy, Biden and Harris had to recover the economy that Donald Trump left them, after Biden and Obama had to recover the economy that Bush left them. It is a nasty cycle where Republicans crash the economy, Democrats fix them, and then Republicans try to take credit. When it comes to immigration, Donald Trump has no clue what he's doing at all. I mean, his solution to this decades-long crisis is infantile. He doesn't want to give more money to asylum judges. He doesn't want to increase the amount of Border Patrol agents. He wants to build a big wall like he is a kindergartner. And then, of course, when it comes to abortion, that is self-explanatory. Harris has a higher favorability rating than Trump, except in Michigan, where they're tied. Biden's favorability ratings are a bit worse than in April and well below both Harris and Trump. And I just want to say, Harris is beating Trump's favorability ratings, or sometimes tied, in Michigan when she hasn't even campaigned at all. We are 5 days into the campaign, and Harris is already incredibly competitive with Trump. So what happens in 30 days after they've poured $250 million into key swing states, after she has visited each state multiple times and campaigned twice a day? She is going out there relentlessly. I think she needs to get on Fox News, get on all of the, let's say, hostile news networks, and show the Democrats are strong that we can debate. Democratic candidates for the U.S. Senate outperform Harris's vote share in the horse race, which is weird because we saw that Biden was doing worse than the other races down ballot, and Harris seems to have a similar thing happening. But that makes me think that if people turn out for down ballot races and they end up just voting blue, voting Harris, that she can win with that turnout. Support for third-party candidate RFK Jr. is lower than it was in April. 2/3 or more approve of Biden's decision to end his re-election bid, and 2/3 want Biden to finish his term rather than resign. And meanwhile, normal apolitical people are just turning on the MAGA movement. This is Dave Portnoy. He's the owner of Barstool Sports, and he's kind of just your average frat bro who you'd see wearing a backwards baseball cap and playing beer pong. If you know who Dave Portnoy is, and you know that I'm exactly right, but he posted, which he seems like he's normally sort of Republican. I know that he's pro-choice, but other than that, he seems like he's sort of Republican. He said, "This is effing idiotic. You want me to pay more taxes to take care of other people's kids? We sure this dude is a Republican, ? Sounds like a moron. If you can't afford a big family, don't have a ton of kids." And watch this JD Vance clip that he links.
I'll go back to something I said earlier about we need to reward the things that we think are good and punish the things that we think are bad. So you talk about tax policy. Let's tax the things that are bad and not tax the things that are good. If you're making $100,000, $400,000 a year, and you've got 3 kids, you should pay a different, lower tax rate than if you're making the same amount of money and you don't have any kids. It's that simple.
I totally agree. It's like JD Vance and Charlie Kirk just discovered basic economics. Yeah, if you incentivize things that are good, the good things will happen more. And if you disincentivize or tax things that are bad, then those things will happen less. That is literally how it has always worked. That is why people want to tax things like sugar to disincentivize people from buying it. And Dave Portnoy, who is a pretty much Republican dude, rightfully so, calls this out and says, "This is effing idiotic. Sounds like a moron." People understand that JD Vance is a moron after listening to him for 3 seconds, or at least this new version of him, this new MAGA version of him is a moron. I bet you JD Vance about 7 or 8 years ago, who was honestly quite liberal, he was a liberal dude who was also a Republican, but JD Vance from 7 or 8 years ago would have called this JD Vance stupid. He would have been able to have intelligent conversations, but nowadays JD Vance puts on that MAGA cap and he's about 60 to 70% dumber. Either way, it was great to see Fox News accepting reality, because exactly 1 week ago today, the Republicans were incredibly cocky. I mean, the RNC was a total celebration. It was almost like a premature victory party. And now Brett Bier has to go stand there in front of his millions of Fox News viewers and say, "Guys, hold up 1 second. The race is not over yet. It's actually just beginning. And VP Harris is competitive. Donald Trump is going to have to campaign like he is 20 years younger." If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like. Make sure you comment a blue heart. It would mean the world to me. I read all of the comments. I love to hear from you guys. Hit that subscribe button. We're trying to hit 300K. Join the Mockler subreddit, Discord, all in the description below. But most importantly, have a good rest of the day yourself, and I'll see you next time.